Hello and welcome to another episode of interviews with Microsoft product team, Microsoft Fabric product team. And today we have the pleasure to be with Emily Lisa here. Hey, Emily, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks for your time. It is great to have you in the team. We have already talked with Mo about some aspects of Power BI, enhancement features, but it would be good also to get some updates about your area. So before we start on that, can you explain what is your role in the team and what area of the product you are focusing on?
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I am really focused on different semantic modeling capabilities, primarily bringing all of those rich model authoring capabilities that historically only existed in desktop to the web. As well as I'm also working on the live editing of direct lake models in Power BI desktop. So those web editing capabilities, bringing them back to desktop. And in addition to all the different semantic modeling capabilities I've been working on, I'm also looking at how can we help Power BI users leverage the larger Fabric ecosystem, including things like getting started with using notebooks and semantic link.
That is great. So it's a lot of areas, especially in a lot of them I see in syncing between the desktop and the web editing, web modeling experience. Before jumping into that, um, we get this question a lot. Like, it is good that we have the web modeling now quite enhanced. We can build the model in web, but sometimes people are thinking that would the desktop go away sometime soon now that we have all the features in web? What is your feeling on that?
Yeah, this is a question I get all the time, and I really like to reassure users that desktop is here to stay. We have absolutely no intentions of getting rid of desktop. I know so many people love desktop. We love desktop too. It is not our goal to get rid of Power BI desktop. So please rest assured, it's here to stay.
Yeah, that is a good news. I'm sure it is quite reassuring for a lot of people as well, because a lot of us still use desktop, like me, myself, when I'm building a model, still I'm building most of it in the desktop. So that's good. So everyone watching this is not going away. It might go away 20 years later, but 20 years later, a lot of things might happen. ChatGPT might be a real human that long. Anyway, so talking about the experiences and the updates that we have had in the FabCon, one of them specifically uh, being the ability to live edit the direct lake model in the desktop, because we had that in the web editor experience. Now we have that in the desktop. Am I right?
Yeah, so that was actually, we had our initial launch of live editing direct lake models in Power BI Desktop in September, but we're just
Correct.
continuously making more and more enhancements to it. So I'd say
Mhm.
please stay tuned as every month we're updating these different capabilities. At FabCon, we announced that now you can easily go from the web editing experience to the live editing of direct lake
Mhm.
models and desktop experience with the open and desktop button, very similar to what you might be familiar with in like a Word doc or PowerPoint, where you just click the view and edit toggle, and there's an option there that says edit in desktop, which will launch that same model for editing in Power BI desktop.
That is cool. So when we click on that edit in desktop, it will open basically the same semantic model in the desktop, so we can work with it and make changes, and it automatically synchronizes with the web. Or after we edit it, we have to publish. How does that work?
Yeah. So since it is live editing your direct link model, it'll automatically have those changes reflected within the web.
Correct.
So we're really going to make it easy for you to go from making these changes in the web, making them in desktop. But when it's your direct link model, all those changes are automatically reflected in the web. There's none of that download publish flow that you might be familiar with in your other Power BI desktop editing experiences.
That's amazing. That's a really good news, especially because Power BI Desktop is being the most loved product across all of these suites. So everyone would love to use that to build the solution. That's amazing. So what are the other updates we had in FabCon that are exciting to talk about?
Yeah, FabCon was a really exciting time. So there was enhancements to the live editing of direct link models and desktop experience. We also have been making more improvements to the web editing experience.
Mhm.
So in FabCon, one of the biggest announcements we made is that editing your semantic models in the web is now default on for not just premium workspaces, but also your pro workspaces, including version history support for pro workspaces.
That is great. So that means that that version history support. Correct me if I'm wrong. It means that even without setting up GitHub or Azure DevOps, it is a built-in version history that I can use if I'm in a pro workspace with Power BI semantic model, right?
Correct. Yeah. If you are editing your semantic models in a pro workspace, we automatically configure this version history for you without you having to set anything up. And it's a really office like experience where you just open up
Mm,
your version history, can pick one of your previous versions to restore to, and it will restore both the data and metadata. So if you make some kind of critical mistake when editing your semantic model in the web, you have that option to go back to a previous point in time, get it back to that working state, and get all your downstream reports back to how you were hoping to have them.
correct. And this is going back to the version that, like the code version, not the data version, right? It's not the snapshots of the data, or is it that too?
It's metadata and data. So it also brings your data back to that previous point.
Right. Okay. And how long history this will keep?
Yeah, we have all the details in our documentation about this, but we have 5 versions per model,
Okay.
and there's different actions that will trigger causing a version to be captured. So those are core things like opening a new editing session,
Mhm.
um, publishing from desktop. You also can manually save a version, so that way if you are make a bunch of changes, say in a web editing session, and say I want to be able to recover at this point in time, you can do that manual save, including a description.
Right. So those are the ways that we would kind of like save this as a version. And if we go beyond that 5 points, like the first one will go away like a queue, right? Okay.
Exactly. The oldest one's the first one to get removed in that case.
That is amazing. I'm sure pretty much a lot of people would love it because Azure DevOps and GitHub are a really good thing, but not every Power BI user want to go toward that complication of setting up a project in Azure DevOps, GitHub, and all those check in, check out kind of things, commit the changes. So this is good that we have this. Really, really helpful. We also have some enhancement on the notebook integration with semantic model, right?
Yeah, so that was another thing that we were really excited to announce at FabCon is we're making it even easier than ever for Power BI users to get started with using notebooks and Semantic Link. So we've seen tons of enthusiasm around the Power BI community on Semantic Link, especially those Semantic Link Lab kind of samples that Michael
Mhm.
Kowalski created. And so we wanted to make this even easier than ever to get started. So we brought in 2 of these sample notebooks to have 2-click experiences from your Power BI semantic model on the web to creating these notebooks and running the functions. So the 2 are Best Practice Analyzer and Model Memory Analyzer, which essentially shows your Vertipack statistics of your model to help you analyze performance and like those kind of different statistics for your model. All you have to do is click one of these buttons and we'll create the notebook for you, set up everything for your model in your workspace, and then you just click run and you can see the results.
And it is quite easy to use. I actually checked it on one of the examples that I had. And just for our audience, because they may not know what exactly this feature would enable them to do, the semantic link would give you the ability to connect to the existing semantic model that you have in Power BI and do some analytics or query some of the metadata of your model. Like, for example, you want to know which table consumes the most memory, and based on that, do some performance enhancement, things like that. And using Notebook, you can run codes that would deal with that semantic model. And what Emily is talking about is a feature that we have a set of these notebooks code for performance analyzer and things like that. That is just a matter of clicks. You just click on it, it has the code for you. You just run it and you get the outcome, which is really fantastic. So thank you for that update. Uh,
Yeah. We're really excited for it. And it's 2 clicks for these 2 templates, but there's so much more you can do with Semantic Link and notebooks. And we are really excited to see what the community has to share, some areas that you all are using Semantic Link and notebooks. So even beyond these 2 templates, we also launched the Notebooks Community Hub for Power BI users.
mhm.
So that way you can discover additional scenarios that have been helpful for Power BI users with using Semantic Link to connect to your models and your reports. And so you can discover what the community has done there, as well as upload your own scenarios.
That sounds good. And the good thing about it is that if you are a Power BI developer, to use these, you don't have to go and learn Python. These are like template codes. You just go and use it and run it. And similar to what Emily mentioned, there will be a gallery of these. Similar to what we have, like a visual gallery, there would be a gallery of these
Mhm.
notebook templates or codes. You just pick one, you run it, and you get the output, which is fantastic. Thank you. What else? Like either the announcement in FabCon or what else you have in your pipeline coming in the future? That is exciting.
Yeah, so those were all big things that were ready at FabCon,
Mhm.
but one of the things I'm most excited for is that coming really soon, we're actually going to announce general availability of doing those web modeling actions for your import models, including Power Query support.
Right. So not only direct lake, like even if I have, like if I'm building a Power BI solution directly from the web editor experience, if I'm importing it from, let's say, an Excel file in SharePoint, things like that, including all those Power Query transformation, all of that, I can do that in the web modeling experience, right?
Exactly. Yeah, for your import models that you have in the web, we have been supporting doing kind of your basic modeling capabilities, but we're branching off of that and now supporting Power Query. So doing your transform data, bringing in more import sources, all of that is coming for import models, all within that web, never having to open Power BI desktop to do these changes. If you don't want to, of course, we'll continue to support desktop for those of you who want to do it. But if you want to stay in the web, do these rich authoring capabilities, we're supporting Power Query for import coming really soon, as well as the general availability for editing these web edited models, import models, all within the web.
That's amazing. And if we go and build it that way, we still can connect to it from the desktop, like open in desktop, and we open exactly the same model with the same Power Query code and the relationship between the tables and everything like that, right?
Yeah, we'll still support the way for you to download these import models in Power
Right.
BI Desktop, make changes, and then publish them. And those changes would reflect in the web afterwards.
Right. Okay. So it would not be live edit like what we have in Direct Lake, but it would be downloading it, editing it, changing it, and then publishing it because it's more like offline when you download it. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, the live editing would just be in the web for import models. If you want to make changes in desktop, it's that traditional download and then republish flow.
That is great. There are two actually use case scenarios that a lot of customers I know are already quite keen to use these kind of things. Many of those are those who would use other machines, like not Windows machine, like they have MacBook or other things, so they can use this modeling experience. The other thing is like some people who are in the meeting and want to prototype something really fast. They are not under work machine. They don't have Power BI desktop installed. They just open a browser, the web modeling experience, and all of that, and they can build a solution really fast using that. So really helpful options. These are scenarios that I know would be really helpful. Is there anything else that I didn't ask that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I think you talked about some of the things I've been most excited about. Really excited to hear that the two scenarios you called out for web modeling are ones that we also are really aiming to make this experience helpful for. We are so excited to bring that this kind of first class authoring experience to Mac users without them having to spin up a VM, run
Mm,
parallels, doing it all on the web. So super excited to hear that that's a scenario that's top of mind for you as well.
yes,
And
yeah.
those quick edits, like you were saying, sometimes you just want to make a quick change without having to launch Power BI desktop, manually save,
Just in
publish,
the
and then
middle
kind
of
of
the
reopen
meeting,
them.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Awesome. Great. So what we are going to do is that we are going to put your LinkedIn URL down in the description below for people to connect with you. But is that your preferred platform, or would you like to have people connect to you in other places?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn would be great. And then, especially everything that we talked about today, we have a lot of feedback forums for
Mhm.
these different features. So, we have one for version history, one for editing your models in the web, one for the notebooks integration experience, and one also for the live editing of direct link models in desktop. So, we really want to hear all the feedback because we want to make sure these features are useful in addressing scenarios that are top of mind for the community. So, that's just another place that I check really often for any additional feedback that comes in. So, please keep posting your feedback and sharing it with us in those locations.
That's amazing. And also I would like to mention that there is a ideas forum for everything in Microsoft Fabric that everyone watching this, you can go and post your ideas over there. And the Microsoft team is actually watching that space. Just make sure that you put the right tag so the right team is looking at it. And once it gets enough vote, Microsoft team would put it in their priority list and would consider it. A lot of features that we see these days are the features that been an idea at some point. Cool. Thank you, Emily, for your time. It was really good to talk with you, and hopefully we'll chat again another time after we have some new announcements coming.
Awesome. That sounds great. Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome talking to you about all these exciting capabilities. I'm so excited to hear feedback across the community on them and to keep shipping more and more things.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching this. Until the next video. Bye.
Thank you.